I'd like to welcome everybody to this session of MPC. The Municipal Planning Commission is conducting this meeting in person and via conference call in accordance with the Municipal Government Act, Section 199. Council chambers is now open for public attendance in person. However, members may still join meetings remotely using our current teleconferences process. As per Wheatland County Policy 7.13, members of the public are not permitted to speak unless the commission agrees to hear from them. If the commission agrees to allow the public to speak, the chair will call upon specific individuals at that time. Please note that this call is being recorded and will be uploaded to our website and or social media. For any individuals using the conference call line, we ask that you mute your phone to eliminate background noise. Everyone has a right to be present at Municipal Planning Commission meetings. Any attendees that are considered disruptive to the progression of this meeting may be removed at the discretion of the chair as per Municipal Government Act, Section 198. We thank you for your cooperation and understanding. We have an agenda in front of us. Are there any additions, deletions? Seeing none, can I have MPC's wishes?
I'll move the agenda as presented.
Thank you, Member LaPrice. Everybody's present here. We will be doing it the old-fashioned way. Everybody in favor? That is passed. We have the unapproved minutes from September 12th, 2023. MPC's wishes?
I'll move approval of the minutes as presented.
Thank you, Member Link. I'll call the vote. All in favor? That is passed. We'll move on to development permit applications. Thank you. Take it away.
Good morning. I am Suzanne Hayes, Development Officer with Wheatland County. I will be presenting the first two development permit applications today. The first one is DP 2023-111. It is for a medium industrial use, a modular home manufacturing company. So on page 12, we have the location plan. It is located within the Origin Business Park, approximately 300 meters east of Spelt Street on the south side of Durham Drive. On the same page, we have the circulation map. We circulated to landowners within 1 mile. Within Wheatland County. We didn't receive any responses. We also circulated to agencies, to Alberta Transportation, as the original roadside development permit had expired. So they are requiring that the applicant get a new current roadside development permit application. So that has been added as a condition. We also circulated to Rocky View County. They did not have any response. Internally, we circulated to the manager of internal staff, and the manager of operations said that 2 new paved approaches will be required, as well as 1 application to remove an existing approach. And fire services said that a fire inspection will be required prior to the business operating. Pages 13 and 14, we have the site plan and aerial photos. Some details: the facility will manufacture modular homes. Pre-manufactured aspects of the home will arrive and will be assembled at the facility. Cladding on the exterior and finishing work on the interior will be completed. Then the home sections would be staged and shipped off-site for install and assembly at the residential destination. So a little bit of history. In 2022, a development permit was issued for a 45,000 square foot industrial building with multiple bays, which is currently under construction. This proposed modular home facility will occupy 5 of the 9 bays. Off-site levies and landscaping securities were addressed under the original permit, so have not been added as conditions of this approval. Also, the landowner is currently in the process of registering the parcel and building as a condominium plan, allowing the bays to be sold to individual owners. Pages 15 and 16, we have a few photo of the partially constructed building and an illustration of what it will look like upon completion. So the building will be serviced by underground potable water storage tanks and underground wastewater tanks. It is accessed from Durham Drive and will require 2 new paved approaches, as I mentioned. The stormwater management plan and landscaping plan were approved with the original DP. A lighting plan was approved for this application, and a conceptual traffic impact assessment is in the final stages of review by McElhaney. Some things to consider. The proposal is in alignment with the MDP, ASP, and LUB as it supports industrial development goals, infill and intensification in an existing industrial commercial area, and there were no comments from adjacent landowners. On page 6, we have staff's recommendation, which is to approve the application for a medium industrial business with the conditions as noted, including that they need to construct the 2 approaches, that the building units shall not be occupied until a building permit has been issued for these specific units of the building, and that they have to submit documentation confirming the fire inspection has been completed for these units. So MPC has the standard 3 response options found on page 10, and I'm available for questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Suzanne. MPC's wishes?
I'll move the recommendation.
Thank you, Member Link. Discussion? Yes.
You said that portion of the building's going to be condos style. Do they have to come back for a permit for that too?
Yes, it'll come as a subdivision application.
Okay.
This might not be germane to administration. Light industrial in an industrial park. Like I'm just wondering if I'm trying to get, this is another sort of red tape reduction kind of thing, because it is an industrial park. I understand this, if this was happening out in the county somewhere, they're going to build and you're going to affect people. But we have specifically said that this is an industrial park and this is light, like this is medium industrial. It's where we want this stuff. I'm just trying to figure out if there's something we can do, change down the road, in order that these don't have to come to us, because staff is more than able to. If it was light industrial, it wouldn't come to us, right? Am I correct on that?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so I mean, medium, like if you're building modular homes inside of buildings, no one's going to hear this no matter what, and it's an industrial park. I'm just wondering if we should be looking at this down the road, maybe if you have because we're going to run into the same thing in Goldfinch. We have these specific areas that we want all our industry to go to. Just would it make it easier for everybody involved?
Through the chair to MPC, there has been a resolution from council that we are working on. It just takes time on permitted and discretionary uses within our land use bylaw to make it a little more friendly for businesses. So which ones would come to the MPC and which ones wouldn't, and the impact. So we are reviewing that, and we'll bring something back probably to committee of the whole first before it ever goes forward to council and we go too far with it. So we are reviewing each use within industrial and commercial areas of the county.
Well, thank you very much. That's wonderful. We have a motion in front of us. Any more discussion? If not, I'll call the vote. All in favor? That is passed. DP 2023-123.
This application is also for a medium industrial business. It is DP 2023-123, and it is for a construction yard for the fabrication of electrical buildings. The location plan is on page 23. It is located within the Origin Business Park, 350 meters west of Range Road 265 on the north side of Durham Drive. We also circulated this application for 1 mile within Wheatland County, and we did not receive any responses. Alberta Transportation was circulated, and they already have issued a current roadside development permit. Rocky View County said thank you for the opportunity to comment. They had no concerns. And internally, the manager of operations again stipulated that a new approach needs to be constructed. And economic development thought this was a good fit for our economic development goals. Pages 24 and 25, we have a site plan and an aerial photo. So it's for an electrical construction company specializing in fabricating electrical buildings for customers within the oil and gas, power generation, and mining industries. Due to the size of the buildings, they are fabricated outside, and the yard will be used to store materials and equipment throughout the fabrication process. The construction yard will require 8 to 10 employees who will work 5 days a week along with other contractors. They will have a washroom trailer and an office trailer on site. Pages 25 to 27 are some photos from their current location, which is in Calgary. So the water for the washroom trailer and office trailer will be delivered. Wastewater will be trucked out. Property is accessed from Durham Drive and will require a new paved approach. A conceptual TIA was completed, which has been reviewed and approved. Stormwater management plan has now been approved, and a landscaping plan was also approved. So some things to consider. It is also in alignment with the MDP, ASP, and LUB, and there were no comments from surrounding landowners. On page 17, we have staff's recommendation, which is to approve this application for a medium industrial business, subject to the conditions, which include condition number 10 for the landscaping securities to be submitted prior to the building permit issuance, condition 11 for a new paved approach, 12 for a building and safety code permits for these trailers that will be on site, and 13 for the off-site levy. And the standard response options are on page 21. Please let me know if you have questions.
Thank you, Suzanne. MPC's wishes? Yes, Member Kester.
The question, are these outfits they're manufacturing, these can be those huge oversight size buildings you see moving down the highway, or are they just more standard ATCO-sized trailers?
I believe I don't know that for sure.
It looked like they were big buildings in Calgary.
Yeah, I really don't know if they're going to be larger, oversized, or standard size, sorry.
It doesn't really matter to our process.
No.
Because look on there, the little tires in the building, that's a big building. Okay, thanks. I'll move to staff's recommendation that Municipal Planning Commission approve DP 2023-123 for a medium industrial business subject to the following conditions, 1 through, come on, 14?
13.
13.
Oh, sorry.
14, it looks.
14.
Thank you, Member Kester. Discussion? Yes, Member Cruz.
After a member Kester brought up the issue of the building, I just want to make sure that the infrastructure in there can handle that kind of weight if they're pulling something out there. I don't know if that Durham Drive was built heavy enough for that kind of stuff, but I'm sure there'll be weight limits on there if there is that kind of thing. So something we have to watch out for.
Yeah, through the chair, we did have their conceptual TIA reviewed by McElhaney, and they didn't identify that as a concern. Did you have anything to add? No?
Yes, Member Kester.
When we first got the concept of this area structure plan, that was one of the big selling features the developer at the time wanted, to be able to assemble these buildings because of the way scales there and get them out of the city of Calgary and moving traffic lights and stuff. So it was designed for that, to make use of the way scales and stuff. So it's kind of interesting to see it come to fruition after this time, yeah.
Any other discussion? If not, I'll call the vote. All in favor? That is passed. We'll move on to DP 2023-137.
Good morning, MPC. Rachel Hanson-Beaton with Planning Development Services, here to present Development Permit Application 2023-137 to address 3 non-compliant structures that require variances. The property is located within the Eagle Lake multi-lot subdivision on Eagle Lake Crescent, shown on page 34. The application has been circulated internally into adjacent surrounding properties +1, as shown on page 34, with no responses. There were no concerns from fire services either. On page 35, it shows the 3 non-compliant structures. An existing shop was issued a development permit in 1969 and was considered legal non-conforming as it was constructed before the current land use bylaw. It is located 0.89 meters from the side property line, and the required setback is 0.91 meters. This building was in compliance until a carport was added to the exterior of their building, so a variance is now required, as it is located 0.21 meters from the rear property line, and the required setback is 0.91 meters. The third structure is a plastic shed that is less than 100 square feet that has been placed 0.52 meters from the side property line, and the required setback is 0.91 meters. Pages 36 to 38 contains photos of the structures. Some considerations: there's no development on any of the adjacent lots, and there will be none until the lots are serviced as per the Eagle Lake area structure plan. In conclusion, staff recommends that Municipal Planning Commission approve development permit DP 2023-137 for the purpose of an existing shop, carport, and shed requiring variances defined as 2 accessory buildings and an addition with variances, with conditions found through 1 through 4 found on page 29. MPC has a standard 3 responses found on page 32, and this concludes my presentation if you have any questions.
Thank you. Excuse me. MPC's wishes.
I'll move the recommendation from administration.
Thank you, Member Link. Yes,
Just a question. So nothing's developed now. So what happens if something gets developed? And then what happens when they want to sell this property? Is this going to come back to bite us, is my question.
If these variances are approved, then their RPR will be stamp compliant at this time. So if in the future other properties are developed, those properties would have to meet compliance. So this one will, if it is compliant now with this approval, then it'll.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then if someone wants to develop, say directly to whatever end that the carport's on, they won't be able to complain saying that's too close to the property line?
I believe that's correct.
Okay.
just on a following note, you said that the lots on either side, there can be no more development in that until there's county sewer and county water? So
That's
going to
correct.
be a long way
Yeah.
down the road too, so. Okay, thank you. Any other discussion? We have a motion. I'll call the vote. All in favor? That is passed. Takes care of the development permits. We now move on to subdivision applications.
Hi, Jessica Russell with Planning and Development Services, presenting subdivision application SD 2023-020 to subdivide a plus or minus 3.38 hectare portion of land from the southwest quarter, section 14, township 25, range 21, west of the 4th meridian. Subject lands are located approximately 9.3 kilometers northeast of the village of Standard, adjacent to Township Road 252 and Range Road 212. The purpose of the proposal is to facilitate continued residential and agriculture uses on the land. The application proposes to subdivide a plus or minus 3.38 hectare parcel from a previously unsubdivided quarter section, creating a plus or minus 60.62 hectare remainder. The parcel is accessed by an existing approach from Range Road 252. The proposed parcel contains a dwelling serviced by a private well and wastewater system. The remainder parcel will remain agricultural with no plans for further development at this time. The proposal is consistent with the South Saskatchewan Regional Plan, the Regional Growth Management Strategy, the Municipal Development Plan, and the Land Use Bylaw. Pursuant to the Municipal Government Act, municipal reserve is not required on the subject parcel. Section 663 states that a subdivision authority may not require the owner of a parcel of land subject to a proposed subdivision to provide municipal reserve if the subdivision is the first lot subdivided from a quarter section. The proposed subdivision is a first parcel out subdivision and therefore is not required to pay the municipal reserve. Administration is recommending that the Municipal Planning Commission approve subdivision application SD 2023-020, subject to the conditions noted in the planning report. That concludes the presentation of subdivision application SD 2023-020, and I'm available for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. MPC's wishes. Yes, Member Larson.
I'll move that the Municipal Planning Commission approve subdivision application SD 2023-020, subject to conditions 1 through 6 in the report.
Thank you. Discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor? That is passed. That takes us to the end of our agenda. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much, everybody.